The ink was barely dry on the Declaration of Independence when the betrayal began. A new nation proclaiming liberty and justice for all turned a blind eye to the inherent rights of its indigenous people. The United States, in its infancy, acknowledged Native American tribes as independent nations. They negotiated treaties promising peace and respect for their ancestral lands. These promises, however, would soon be swept away by the winds of greed and ambition. On one hand, there was a supposed recognition of their sovereignty. On the other hand, the relentless hunger for land, fueled by westward expansion, cast a dark shadow over these agreements. The stage was set for a clash of cultures, a collision of values that would have devastating consequences for generations to come. The government, claiming to champion liberty, would soon become the architect of one of the most shameful chapters in its history: the forced removal of Native Americans from their ancestral lands. As the United States flexed its muscles, pushing its borders westward, the pressure on Native American lands intensified. The doctrine of manifest destiny, a belief in the God-given right of white Americans to expand from coast to coast, took root. It poisoned the minds of settlers and politicians alike. Native Americans, once seen as sovereign nations, were now viewed as obstacles to progress. President James Monroe, in his 1821 inaugural address, acknowledged the plight of Native Americans in the face of westward expansion. Yet his administration pursued policies that contradicted his words, pushing tribes north of the Ohio River. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 opened a vast new territory for American settlers. This land, however, was not empty. It was home to countless Native American tribes who had lived and thrived there for centuries. The government's solution to this growing tension was not to protect the rights of Native Americans, but to remove them. Treaties were broken, promises were discarded. Andrew Jackson, a hero of the War of 1812, ascended to the presidency in 1829. He embodied the spirit of westward expansion, a staunch advocate for the removal of Native Americans. Jackson saw them not as sovereign nations, but as children in need of guidance, a paternalistic view that masked his true intentions. In 1830, he signed the Indian Removal Act, a law that would forever stain the fabric of American history. The Cherokee Nation, despite having adopted European customs and even developing their own written language, were not spared. They fought back, challenging the Removal Act in court. Their victory in the Supreme Court case, Worcester v. Georgia, was a landmark moment, but it was a victory short-lived. Jackson, defying the highest court in the land, ignored the ruling. The forced removal of the Cherokee began in 1838. The Trail of Tears, a harrowing journey of forced expulsion, stands as a testament to the cruelty inflicted upon Native Americans. Thousands of Cherokee men, women, and children were driven from their homes. They were forced to march westward across hundreds of miles of unforgiving terrain. Jackson's legacy, forever tarnished by his actions, serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the devastating consequences of prioritizing ambition over justice. The Trail of Tears was neither the beginning nor the end of the forced removal era. It was a pivotal chapter in a long and brutal saga, a story of broken treaties, stolen lands, and cultural genocide. As the United States continued its westward expansion, fueled by the discovery of gold in California and the allure of new territories, the displacement of Native Americans became a tragic constant. The gold rush of 1849 brought a new wave of settlers to California, putting further pressure on Native American lands. The trauma inflicted upon Native American communities during this era continues to reverberate today. Generations have grown up carrying the weight of their ancestors' suffering, the pain of lost homelands, and the disruption of cultural traditions. Yet despite the horrors they endured, Native Americans have shown remarkable resilience. Their story is not just one of loss, but also one of survival, of resistance, and of enduring hope. The forced removal of Native Americans from their lands is a dark chapter in American history, a stain on the nation's conscience. It is a story that must be told, remembered, and learned from. The echoes of injustice resonate to this day, a reminder of the importance of vigilance, of speaking truth to power, and of protecting the rights of all people. The legacy of this period is not confined to history books. It continues to shape the lives of Native Americans today. They face ongoing challenges, from poverty and discrimination to the fight for sovereignty and the protection of sacred lands. As we reflect on the past, we must also look to the future. Only then can we truly begin to heal the wounds of the past and build a nation that lives up to its ideals of justice and equality for all.